Welcome back to Queen of the Movies podcast. I'm your girl, Ronika Jade, and today we are going to be talking about Cabin in the Woods, pre-Thor Chris Hemsworth. I personally liked the movie. It's very meta though, so if you're not one of those that likes movies like Scream, then you might like it and you might not. I don't know. Depends on your taste. I feel like if you like Scream, you would like Cabin in the Woods, but they are different movies, so we'll see. So let's get right into it, right? So it's pretty much about 5 college friends that go on like a retreat or a vacation or whatever to a remote cabin in the woods. And they end up falling victim to a variety of monsters while technicians manipulate events from an underground facility. Okay, so this cabin that they go to, it's like, how would you have found this? It's not like this would be on an Airbnb. But apparently the cabin belongs to the cousin of Chris Hemsworth character, Kurt. And so the way it works with the technicians, they have objects and things set up to where, depending on which one they choose, that's what decides their fate. Which honestly, hold on, back up. Like I said, it's a cousin. You don't know anything else about the cousin except that it's their cousin. You don't know what their name is. You don't know how they, like, if they're close. Oh yeah, it's my cousin's cabin. Do you know this cousin? Just your cousin just told you, hey, got a cabin. That's a little random. I don't know. And seeing the cabin, I would not go. I need to see pictures, and then I gotta go check it out first. Like, no. And checking out the place. What is that? Oh, sorry. As the friends are like checking out the place, you see the technicians making plans, and they're betting on what kind of monsters will attack them. They're betting on what objects they're gonna choose. And time goes on, they do have to like manipulate certain things so that the people that they prey on do what they want them to do. So they use like drugs, so mind-altering substances that affect their rational decision making and increases their libido. So it's a little bit of cheating. Okay, they're cheating, but like the whole thing is supposed to be about them sacrificing, and it has to be the athlete or the jock, the virgin, the whore, the fool, and the scholar. But what's crazy, like the whore, is Jules Luden, played by Anna Hutchison. Anyway, and she's supposed to portray like the dumb blonde, but she's far from dumb, and she doesn't really have an increased libido like you see in the movie. So when you see who she is before they go to the cabin, and then when they go to the cabin, when they put the drugs into the air, she starts becoming that stereotype that they were talking about. So it's a little like, what? And then the virgin, she's not a virgin, but I guess she's more of what you would think would be wholesome, I guess. So Kurt is the athlete. Obviously, Chris Hemsworth plays the jock, but he's super smart too. So like they have to alternate his mind to make him seem a little bit more stupid than he is, but he's super smart as well. So his name's Kurt Vaughn. And then you have Dana Polk, who's the virgin, played by Kristen Connolly. And like I said, Jules Luden is quote unquote the whore, played by Anna Hutchison. And then Marty Michalski who's the fool, played by Fran Krantz, and then Holden McRae, who plays the scholar, is Jesse Williams, which most people know him from Grey's Anatomy. I do not know him from that. I don't watch Grey's Anatomy. What do I know him from? I feel like I know him from this movie. Like that was the first time I ever seen him. But I could be lying. I don't know. I could be making that up. I have no idea. I can't remember. But yeah, like I think that Marty, who is far from a fool, fits his stereotype more than the others. Well, and Kurt, those two fit their stereotypes better. Only because Kurt is a jock, but so is Holden, because even though he's labeled the scholar, he plays football with Kurt. So they're both jocks. But I guess because Holden wears glasses, he's more of the scholar. I don't know. It don't make no sense, really. But, like I said, they have to, after years, doing this, they have to manipulate certain things and be a little bit, loose on who they choose, because if they close, they close, and that's that. And like I said, they use drugs to manipulate their rational thought, because there's a point in the movie where they're like, we got to stay together. Kurt is like, we got to stay together to fight these monsters off. And then they pump him with drugs. And he's like, actually, let's split up. And Marty's just like, are you serious? You literally just said we need to stay together. So that's that. But anyway, oops. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. So as we know, it takes place in a remote cabin in the woods. Title card is the setting. I don't remember the state. I didn't really care, but the place, the cabin in the woods, like not the cabin itself, but like the area around it was very nice. It was beautiful. There was a lake and everything. So landscape was great. It's definitely perfect for this movie, because especially like when you see like Friday the 13th or like Texas Chainsaw, they're always like in the middle of nowhere. So like there's nobody around to help anybody. Or even like Anaconda, even though it's a monster movie. They're on a river, and it's just them. Nobody is there to help them fight this thing. So perfect. You're secluded from the rest of the world. So setting is great. Like I said, the landscape of where they are is beautiful. Other than the whole like death and stuff, it would be probably a nice getaway. But I like to be a little bit around people, because I watch way too many horror movies, and I get a little paranoid. So yes. So the movie is pretty much a metaphor. It's a movie within a movie. Like, you're watching them be, it's a metaphor, okay? So pretty much the actors go through the motions. When you're watching a movie, you know that like things are set up to make sure that these events happen and they make sense. Sometimes that don't work, but here. So the actors go through the motions that the filmmakers force them to, right? The writers plan out a film, which are the workers in the facility. So the writers are the workers in the facility. They're the ones that put those objects I was talking about earlier into the cabin. They're the ones that say, hey, this object leads to this, or this object leads to that. They're the ones that built the cabin and placed the objects in the basement, right? The directors are the people in the facility who run the show in real time. They're the ones that summon the monsters, that release the pheromones, and they're the ones that collapse the tunnel that the friends try to escape out of. So once they like, oh my God, the monsters, and then Jules, like I said, Jules gets killed because that's the order, and it was when her and Kurt were about to have sex in the woods due to, the drugs. Because that always happens in horror movies. See, there's a very simple formula. Yes, I quoted Randy. I like Scream. Anyway, Jules is dead. They try to get away. They're like, we're leaving. We're getting in the van or whatever it's called, and we're leaving. Okay? So, we do that, or they do that. I'm not in the movie. And they're like, oh my God, the facility, the technicians or whatever, like, they're trying to leave. What are we going to do? They're like, we got to collapse a tunnel. So they make a like rock slide happen so they can't get through the tunnel. And they were like right there. But then somebody says something about jump. And then Chris Hemsworth character, has the bright idea to jump the freaking ravine. Okay. Oh my God. I'll get back to that. It was so funny. But yeah, they collapse the tunnels. The head of the facility, who by the way is Sigourney Weaver, is called the director. It can't get any more meta or simple. Like, you have the writers, you have the directors. And when I realized this, I was just like, wow. Yeah, that's crazy. So pretty much the whole reason they do this, the facility has to appease the old gods if they don't want their world to end. So the old gods is the audience. It's you guys. So we're watching it, and we're the reason that a film succeeds or flops, right? So and the producers, they want to please us because they know if they don't, the movie's gonna just collapse. It's gonna suck. So yeah, it's gonna flop. So the loss of life is pretty much the symbol of the loss of their jobs. So if the movie doesn't do well, it don't make as much money. And then sometimes it's hard, depending on how hard a movie flops, it's hard to get back into the swing of things, because it's like, ooh, I remember when that movie that you were on was really bad and it didn't do very well. So I don't know, like, if I want you to do this because your last movie was terrible, right? But anyway, I thought that was interesting. But moving on, the drugs make it, like I said earlier, they increase the libido, but the drugs pretty much take away their free will, and are like puppets. So actors that are given a script, they say what's in the script, and they perform. Made me think of Nope, because there's deeper meaning, and I did do an episode on that, so check that out. But they make they would make decisions that never really normally make reality, right? So and it seemed like the only one, if you notice, that isn't affected by the drugs is Marty, quote unquote, the fool. And I mean, it's it's established when we meet him that he is a pothead, so he smokes a lot of marijuana. So I'm guessing whatever drugs they use counteracts the marijuana, so it does not, it doesn't cloud his judgment, and he's still able to make rational decisions. That's why when Kurt says we should split up, he's like, "Are you serious?" But yeah, the drugs is basically to feed into the stereotypes, and the movie itself is based on stereotypes, like Like I said, there's the virgin, there's the fool, there's, there's always somebody that fits a stereotype in a movie. So, yeah, that's pretty much that. And this movie is mostly a comedy. It pretty much, it's not all a comedy because there are like good horror aspects of the movie. I think it's a really good balance between comedy and horror. But it does poke fun at horror movies and like the actors and like just everything. Whenever it's questioned why a character made this decision. We're always like, why? Or like how in Scream as well, when Sydney's on the phone with the killer and she's like, she doesn't watch horror movies because it's so predictable, and like how the girl is going up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. Well, yes, that's it right there. Like, why did you make that decision? It was so dumb. No wonder you got killed. But it's a movie, and they have to make it where those decisions are made and it kind of makes sense. Even if it doesn't make sense, it's just like, okay, I guess. But example, after they look through the basement and start touching things, which, mind you, basement door, I'm pretty sure opened on its own. I don't think anybody opened that door. It just like creaked open. And for me, if a door just straight opens, I'm not going inside. Like, at all. If a door opens that was shut and I could not open, I'm 99% sure that they tried to open that door and it did not open. I'm not 100. There's still that 0.1% of me that's uncertain, and I probably should watch the movie again. I will eventually. But yeah. I'm pretty sure that door was locked. Like, they couldn't open the door and then all of a sudden it opened. I'm leaving. I'm going to the store. You want something? And I ain't coming back. I'll let them know something weird going on. Who is this cousin? Do you know the cousin name? Is it haunted? I don't know. But anyway. But they start hearing things and they start touching stuff when they go in there, and then, whatever object it was or whatever they did, I think they read something. I think one of them read something from a book or a diary, and it set off like a zombie family. So, yeah. And it was like, why are we touching things that aren't ours? That isn't like in part of the main house. Why are we in the basement? Do we need like to see where the generator is? Like, what are we doing? I don't know. I don't just be touching stuff in people's house. Marty, like I said, Marty's the only person that questions this. So like I said, we're back to the part I was talking about where they're trying to leave. Like I said, Jules is dead. They try to leave. They collapse the tunnel. They can't. They're having some type of conversation, and then the word jump, but nobody's saying, hey, we should jump. I don't remember what happened or what they said, but somebody said the word jump. And because Kurt is supposed to be like the athlete, he's supposed to be this jock that everyone looks to be the hero, he's like, this on my motorcycle and I'm gonna come back and get help. And he gives like this whole big speech, and as he jumps it, he hits a force field and dies. Oh my god, that was the one of the most hilarious deaths I'd ever seen, next to Samuel L. Jackson in Deep Blue Sea. Oh my goodness, so funny. Yeah, so everybody's like, oh my God. Oh, by the way, everybody thinks that Marty is dead as well because he got grabbed when he was in his room through the window. So Marty's gone. And this was also like he had discovered a camera in his room. He discovered cameras and microphones. And then he gets attacked and pulled out of his window. Like I said, it's assumed he is killed, but as I have learned from Escape Room, and I mean, what's the second one called? Escape Room Game of Champions, or something like that. If I didn't see it happen, if I didn't see it, it didn't happen. That's what the redhead said. She's like, if you didn't see it, it didn't happen. So, you ain't see Marty die, did you? Okay. You didn't, because he's alive. And, like, comes out of nowhere to save Dana. Oh, yeah, Holden dies in the RV on their way back to the cabin because they can't get through the tunnel to leave. He dies. I think he gets stabbed or something. I don't know. But he was, like, useless. His whole character was useless. To be the scholar, he wasn't very smart. But now it's just, they're celebrating because they didn't know Marty was alive. They're like, oh, it doesn't really matter if Dana's alive or dead. It goes either way. We're fine because now we have pleased the gods. They're going to be happy of our sacrifice. Yeah, so as Dana is getting beat up on, which I don't know why it's taking them that long to kill her. Just kill her. Y'all zombies. I'm pretty sure they were zombies. The technicians are celebrating because they think it's over. And one of the technicians just mad because he wanted a merman or something like that. Some weird one that he keeps betting on and nobody ever like unwillingly chooses that one. So he's like upset, but still happy. Anyway, so Marty shows Dana a bunker that he discovered while he was like fighting off one of the zombies. And so they go in there, which is where the monsters that they're fighting came from. So they go in the bunker, and then it leads to an elevator, a glass elevator. And they decide to descend because they're like, what? This is the elevator. What is going on? So as they descend, it's dark, and then all of a sudden the lights come on, and they see all of these monsters in glass boxes. It is hundreds, if not more, in these cages. It's probably more. It's probably thousands. This is fucking crazy. And excuse my language. They like are seen. And they're about to kill them, and the committee. That's what they're called. The committee plans to kill Marty first since it's the appropriate order. And it's like, if Dana lives or dies, it really doesn't make a difference. But Marty has to die in order for this whole thing to be okay. But Dana releases all the monsters into the facility and escape into the temple. So everybody in the facility is getting killed by these creatures. And in my head, I'm like, okay, I get it. But how you gonna get out, though? You didn't release all these monsters. But how you leaving? You can't leave now because there's all these creatures in the bunker. So I guess, like, it was no point of that. It was no point. If you were going to do that, you was going to die anyway. Because now you can't get back to the elevator because you didn't release all these freaking monsters that you're not going to be able to navigate through because it's too many of them. How are you going to get out? How are you going to get out? But then Sigourney Weaver's character just explains the entire thing. Yep, the gods, we have to do this all the time. Every country has failed and we're the last ones. We have to succeed. Only one country has to succeed in order for the entire world to live. Marty gotta die. Dana, you can live. You the virgin. She's like, what? I'm the virgin. She's like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, we're not gonna explain this. You can live or die. Shoot him. Everybody lives, and you can live. So she's about to shoot him. She's like, okay, I kill one, I save millions. Marty's like, I ain't trying to die right now. So, what happens? One of the creatures comes and attacks Sigourney Weaver's character. And then Marty is like, I'm going to kill you, Dana, because you tried to kill me. But then they make up and like, we're just not going to kill each other. Like, I'm sorry that I was going to kill you. And Marty's like, I'm sorry too. And I'm trying to think, were they cousins? I think they were cousins. I don't know. It's possible. I don't know. That's crazy. Anyway. And then, so they like, Marty's like, I ain't trying to die to save all these people. I don't care about that. Dana's like, I guess. So then a big old hand comes through the ground. And I'm like, I would have shot Marty. I'm like, I'm sorry, but it's either you die and everybody else in the world lives, or we both die and everybody still dies. I don't understand why this is a question. Because now y'all both dead anyway. I guess they said, if I'm dead, I don't care. I guess, but that, I thought the ending was terrible, but not terrible, but it just confused me because I'm just like, why though? Like, if you want to die, like, if you don't want to die, okay. But if she's right and they ascend, you gonna die anyway. Not to mention, you're gonna die anyway because you can't get out of the damn facility because you release all the monsters. How you gonna leave? You not. You was going to die anyway. So it made no damn sense to me of why she just didn't kill Marty. The rest of your friends did. You might as well kill one more. You should just let them kill him instead of releasing the monsters. They probably would have let you live. They probably would have said, you're going to have to stay here and work with us, but you would have been alive either way. Instead of releasing, get out. How was you going to get out? And I'm like, do they have to die? Or can you just give them some blood? I have no idea. But I know if we dying anyway, because I just released all these monsters to save you, and she talking about the gods are going to sin upon the earth and kill everybody. Well, it sounds like we in a lose-lose situation because we're not getting back out the front door, even though there was no front door. We're not getting back out of here. So I don't see no point of us staying alive long enough for just, you ain't gonna see nothing because I'm pretty sure they died instantly when that hand came out the ground. Like, I don't know. But okay. I don't know. Well, let's talk about how, I guess that begs the question, would you kill one to save millions or billions? Mm, I don't know. In this situation, probably. But it's like, is there proof? How do I know? Is it like a situation? Well, it's this situation because I'm talking about it. Duh. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think in this situation, it is it was what it was, and at that point, you wasn't getting out of there alive anyway. You really weren't. You released the monsters. There was no point in being selfish. It really wasn't. Um, but yeah, as a review, I like the movie. I enjoy it, minus the ending. At least when I first saw it, no, still. Um, yeah, if you want to see a good put together horror comedy, this is definitely the movie to see. It kind of gives you a parody feel while still being a horror movie. Um, like Scream, it's definitely meta. You're pretty much watching a horror movie be made. It's great. It is. Like, the ending kind of like puts it like, so I would give it like a 3.5 out of 5. And the reason it's not a 4 is because of the ending. Just because it was just like, I mean, I guess. It just was, I'm not going to keep talking about it. But either way, it's a solid movie. I enjoy it. If you have not seen it, please go see it. Yeah. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next week. I have something written up, but I might, write something else. I mean, I might have a few options, but we'll see. I might get it out next week. I might not. It's going to be busy because I'm going on vacation. It's going to be great. But, yeah. So, if I have it out, I'll have it out by Monday. But if I don't, then I just... So, yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you guys next time. This is Queen of the Movie Podcast. Have a good one.